Working with Bezier curves is more flexible. Now when you split or trim Bezier curves, the shape stays exactly the same, while extending control where you need it. Split a curve into multiple segments, and each one keeps the same degree of smoothness, but with its own control points. That means you can refine one section without disrupting the rest of your design. If you trim a Bezier curve, the remaining geometry automatically preserves its curvature and control. No rebuilding, no guesswork. The results are cleaner edits, smoother transitions, and more control when dialing in complex sketches. Ruled surfaces are crucial when it comes to things like parting surfaces for mold tools. But what if creating a ruled surface didn't depend on perfectly aligned edges? Now it doesn't. With this update, you can create ruled surfaces normal to a reference face using curves that aren't adjacent edges of that face. That means projected curves work, even when they don't split the surface. The result? More flexibility, fewer workarounds, and smoother workflows when modeling complex geometry.
Recently, Onshape introduced the ability to import variables from external tables like CSV files into Part Studio variables. This release adds the ability to use imported tables to drive variables in a Variable Studio. Like within a Part Studio, you can choose the imported table as a source and then provide the proper parameters to select the appropriate cell. This expands the ability to leverage external sources to drive your designs through Variable Studios in Onshape.
New options are available in Graphics Preferences. First, note that the UI has been improved to have general model-based graphics preferences on one tab, and now sketch-based preferences, which are new, in another tab. So with a sketch open, you can see there are many choices for controlling the behavior of the display of your sketch, including the line width here. One of my favorites is the under-constrained line color. You can make it something red or maybe something a little lighter, so you can kind of see how your sketch updates with more constraints. There's also the ability to set what the inactive sketch entities will look like. Let's go into this other sketch here, leaving the mechanism layout sketch on, and you'll notice that the sketch behind the scenes there will change in line width by pixels. You can also change the color of that too. By the way, you notice there are construction lines on that sketch. Let's bring this line width open a little more, and you can see I can control the actual construction line style with the spacing of pixels between each entity type. It is now possible to perform section views along standard planes in assemblies. Here, we can select from front, top, and right standard views and perform offsets from those standard planes. This makes section views very easy for non-orthogonal tapered parts. You can now add a comment directly to a model-based definition dimension. Simply select the dimension, right-click on it, and add a comment. You can add other things like markups to the comment if you wish. Note that the dimension tag is here in the comment as well as on the bubble in the inspection panel. Simply select the tag and it will bring you back to the position in which it was created. You can also add comments after the fact and tag datums and other model-based definition items after the fact. Simply select the item and it will be added with a bubble corresponding to it. You can also select the bubbles, which will bring you directly to the comment for reply. If action items are assigned to individuals, the comment in its original context is preserved when selecting that task.
Onshape recognizes that creating similar drawings repeatedly should be easier. This update sees the beta release of Replicate Annotations for drawings. Simply right-click on any view and choose Select for Replication, then specify either view or region. On another view in any drawing that is similar to the previously selected view, right-click and choose Replicate Annotations. After a moment of thought, Onshape will replicate as many of the annotations from the previous view as possible. This technology uses a form of machine learning and is currently only done at runtime when you invoke the command. It does not train on your data. Instead, it uses probabilistic matching to automate copying the annotations. This means your data remains private and is never accessed by Onshape for this technology. Replicate Annotations also works for assembly drawings. At the time of this recording, this technology is still in beta and does not support every annotation type, such as item balloons. The types of annotations supported does include ordinate dimensions. Once any annotations are copied, you can edit them like those you manually create. This includes changing the origin and making adjustments to the positions of the ordinate dimensions. Finally, the option to replicate regions allows you to capture the annotations relative to a specific area. For example, just those annotations used to define a common feature on noticeably different components. We're truly excited about this new beta technology and encourage you to try it out and provide feedback on where it could be improved, what doesn't work the way you expected, and what you would love to see next. When detailing your drawings, Onshape now offers 4 new units for your drawing dimensions. From the Units and Precision tab within the Drawing Properties panel, these new units are centimeters, meters, feet with decimals, and yards. These new units can also be applied to the dual units of the dimensions on your drawings, where they can optionally display the appropriate unit suffix. Likewise, you can choose these units when overriding any dimensions. When doing so, note that Onshape selects the most appropriate dual unit to switch to, as well as an appropriate number of decimal places. Finally, these new unit selections are available when defining the characteristics of a new drawing and when exporting a drawing to DXF or DWG. These new unit choices ensure that you are able to capture your engineering intent regardless of the project. This latest release of Onshape makes it easier to display double positive or negative tolerance deviations on your drawing dimensions. There are now button toggles to change the positive and negative direction of each deviation. This makes it simpler when designing with nominal values and applying limit dimensions. In addition to standard dimensions, these new controls are also available when adding tolerances to hole callouts. This subtle improvement streamlines adding complex tolerances to your drawing dimensions.
There are 2 updates to Tab Manager in this release. First, sorting order preferences now persist across sessions and devices. If you set your tabs to alphabetical, reverse alphabetical, type, or your own custom order, that's how they'll show up next time you log in, whether you're at your desk or on the road. Next, folder nesting goes up to 10 levels deep, so if your workflow calls for serious folder structure, you have room to build it. Now, in Onshape Company settings, you can resize the dialog that creates bill of materials templates. This is especially useful when you have a bill of materials that has a huge number of columns like I'm creating right here to classify and set a bunch of stuff up in my Onshape assembly environment. Let's go ahead, resize it right from the corner, and you can see the result if I employ this bill of materials template here.
Have you ever wanted to use public parts like standard content? Well, you're one step closer. Now you can override metadata on public parts. When you insert a public part into your document, as I'm doing with this spark plug, you can customize key properties like part numbers, descriptions, and more to match your standards while the author's original data stays intact. Overrides are applied just for you or your company and automatically carry forward to new versions. Even better, those override values flow directly into your bill of materials. So now you can use those public parts like standard content, flexible, consistent, and ready for real-world reuse. Onshape Cam Studio simulation has added the ability to visualize tool spindle direction. Clockwise or counterclockwise tools can now be seen in the graphics area by enabling Show Spindle Direction. This visualization option will be expanded to other levels of verification in the future. Support for composite parts in Cam Studio has been improved. With the new workflow, you can be assured that the selection remains stable, tool paths are calculated correctly, and your setup behaves as expected. Composite parts for Cam Studio are ideal for work holding and fixtures to be brought in as single-line entities, allowing for faster job creation and setup. Setting up 2D contour toolpaths is now clearer and more predictable. Why? The selection arrows for 2D contour operations have been enhanced to automatically scale in the graphics area. This small but powerful change lets users see them more clearly when zooming in or out. This results in fewer mistakes and more confidence when defining cut direction. It's a small change that makes a big difference.
The Create Job interface in Onshape Cam Studio has received a facelift with some new user interface elements that match the rest of the Onshape user interface elements much closer. New in PCB Studio is the ability to have bidirectional hole tagging, which allows better definition of plated holes, non-plated holes, and other cutouts, setting who is the owner, whether it's MCAD users or ECAD users, during the exchange process. Here we are in an in-context part studio, tagging 2 holes in this printed circuit board, or a through hole or a standoff. So I'm just going to go ahead, tell it that this is a mechanically owned element because it's a mechanical fastener that we're placing through here. Tell it that it's a mounting type item. These are filters that you can use in your ECAD software and in the PCB viewing tool of PCB Studio. So I've got those tagged, and I'm just going to set a version here on my document. Looks great. Let's go ahead to the PCB Studio and see what this looks like in the PCB Studio viewing application. I'm going to synchronize the board from the assembly and just make sure that it's set to that same plane that I had chosen in the plated through hole tag editor. Here we are. It's going to synchronize the board with my new changes with the additional PCB length and the cutouts that I had applied earlier in context. There we are. And if we look at our board through our plated holes and non-plated holes, this is a new feature in the PCB Studio viewer to be able to view these and sort through these. So you can see that it shows up in component properties as well if you select it. It also selects on the screen graphically when you select it from the tree. If we go back to the actual board here, you'll notice that we have some features right here already in place. And this was because I imported this circuit board originally from an IDF file format. It found all of those non-plated through holes, and it set that as ECAD as the owner because of that import.